Hello, welcome back to a nighttime video. This is probably going to be a short one, I think. Well, of course, I never know. Sometimes I think it'll be a short one, and I end up flapping my gums forever. But I'm just going next door from Holiday here. And, get next door and get parked and wind down and try to relax a little bit. Today I came over here for more sun because where I was at by some trees, by noon I had to get out of there because I knew that the sun would be on the other side of these trees that would shade me and I wouldn't get enough to get a solar to be broken up. So I anyway, I forget what I was going to say there, and there's that word sneaking in on me. I don't say it as much as I used to, but it's still sneaking in on me here and there. Guess old habits are hard to break, huh? At least I'm aware of it. Looks like somebody free. That car's been there a while. I don't know where I want to be this time. Well, I think I'm going to go back where I was last move. Anyway, I'll be closer if I decide I want to run into Walmart in the morning. I don't think I got any reason to go in there tonight, really. I gotta check my level here. That's pretty good. So, shut that off so I ain't wasting gas. And I forgot what I was going to say now. I know I say it a lot, that I ain't losing my faith, and I know that there's reason for all this, that tough stuff I've been going through, and I just feel like it's just ahead, that things are going to get better, and I keep saying that. It's because I got strong faith. Sure wish it would have happened already, though, that's for sure. I can't wait till it does, because all these tough videos, all these videos of all my toughness I've been going through will just add to testimony, which will be good. I don't know if anybody else has done that yet. But once the stuff gets better, then I'll be able to make videos saying, guess what? The good stuff's happening. And I've already been making videos for, well, not quite a year of my tough stuff. Because, of course, it's been the last 4 years. But I started making the videos about 7 and 8 months ago. Well, life has been tough. But I decided it'd be wiser to do it that way than wait until life was better and then talk about it. At least I've already got it on film of all my different struggles and tough days and shedding tears here and there. And just to remind everybody, even though I may cry on camera a little bit here and there, doesn't mean I'm any less of a man. I'm a tough dude. But I also have a big heart. Now, I don't know if that's showing up on camera out here in the lot, but there's carts in the middle of the lot. And it's, I don't know, it's just kind of a pet peeve of mine a little bit now. I always bring my cart back to a cart rack. It saves the cart person less work, and it doesn't take up a parking spot blocking somebody from us from parking if the parking lot gets full. None of that. It looks like you don't care, and it makes it look more junky. And it really irks me when I see people that are nomads that do it. You know, if they stay there, like if they say people come stay here in their camper or something, and then they go get groceries and then leave the cart right there and just drive off. I think that's pretty rotten. You know. And then some of them are probably might be the people that complain about the other Walmarts that don't let people stay overnight there. Well, that's part of the reason why. You know. So I wish people would think ahead. It doesn't hurt to walk a little further to put it away, and it's good for your exercise anyway. Heck, even a big heavy-set guy like me that's getting old knows it's better for the exercise and it's better etiquette and everything. Heck, I'm kind of weird that way. My mom raised me, I don't know, with honor and being close to God and stuff, so I know it sounds kind of weird, but even like, what's making me think of it is I seen a post kind of that made me think about, I guess I'm not alone in it. When I go into public restrooms and I see paper towels on the floor and stuff and splattered water spots all over the sink counter or something like that, well, I'll take, if I wash my hands and I'm drying it off with the paper towel, well, then I'll take that paper towel that got wadded up and then I'll wipe down the counter to wipe off any water spots or splashes that are around there and wipe the sink, you know, because it doesn't hurt me. It takes a couple seconds. I might even wipe the faucet off if it looks like it's got water spots on it. You know, I mean, I'll buff everything out, but I'll just do a quick wipe down, make it look pleasant, throw it in there. And if there's paper towels on the floor that people just are lazy about, I'll use my same paper towel that I might have wiped the sink with, and I'll bend down and I'll use that to pick up the paper towels on the floor and throw them in the garbage. You know, I've even with nasty toilet seats, I've even went out of the way to use paper towels to wipe them down before I used it, or before and after I used it, just so it's clean for the next person, you know. And I seen a post about that on Facebook today, talking about leaving places better than you found them. Maybe I should read that quick. If I can pull it up here fast enough. I don't know if I saved it in my notes or not. No. What did I do with it? Yeah. I'll read it on another video or something like that. Ooh. That's kinda cool. Yeah, so made me think about that. I almost thought that was Tony at first. What time is it? 10 o'clock. So Walmart's open for another hour. I can't think of anything I really need in there. I'm just trying to think if there is before I get relaxed. No, I don't need nothing. I can survive. I don't have no milk or nothing right now, but I don't need it. I have water. I'm trying to cut back on milk anyway. My friend Mandy told me I should try to quit drinking milk. First I told her she no way it wasn't happening, because she told me a bunch of other things she wanted me to quit too, just so I'd be healthier. And I did a lot of them. I quit a lot of them. I could tell it meant a lot to her, and it made me feel good too that she worried about my health. You know, it tells me she cares about me a lot. Anyway, but when she said milk, I was like, no, That one ain't gonna happen for a while yet, anyway. I mean, come on, you can only quit so much stuff at once. I've done pretty good. Been quit smoking now for going on 3 years or something like that. That's pretty good. So, well, this is kind of a boring one. Sorry about that. I had a little bit of a story in there. That was a good one about having honor and leaving places better than you found them. That's the same with situations too, you know. You know, if you meet somebody, make it a good experience. So when you walk away from them, their day's better than when you met them. You know, if you can make them smile, make them laugh, make them feel better, well, then you left that situation better than you found it, right? I try to do that every day. Even when I'm having tough days, I hide my tough days and put on my happy face, so that way I'm spreading positive energy through the world. And I do that 99% of the time. You know, but I am human, so there are days that are just really kicking the snot out of me, that then I just try to stay away from people because I don't want them to feel my sadness or my energy. Because I don't want to bring nobody down ever, but you can't always do that because sometimes you need to vent too, you know. So luckily I've got friends that I can turn to vent when I need to. Then I apologize to them too about being negative or whatever, and that I don't want to be a Darren Downer or whatever. It's okay, they say. It's okay. That's because they want me to be able to vent, because I let them do it too all the time. So I've got a select group of friends that I air my sadness to or vent to, just to get it off my chest. Now that I've been doing this channel, I've been able to vent to you. Thank you very much for being there listening to me vent. I hope hasn't been too much. I don't want to bring anybody down. But even though I'm venting, I still got my strong faith, and I know it's going to get better. I know God's got a plan. I just sure hope it's fast, like it happens yesterday. Oh, I can't take it anymore. So I tell God a lot. I don't know how much longer I can do this, but somehow He keeps giving me the strength to keep going. Even though mentally sometimes it really whoops me down, mentally and emotionally. But my instinct is to keep smiling and keep being the best I can be, making the world a better place. You know, even while I'm feeling down, I get people still on a regular basis, pretty much almost daily and multiple times daily. People come to me basically for my energy to feel better. You know, I see it in them. That's why they come to me, because I make them feel better. And I like that, but sometimes that can wear on me a little bit too. But I'll never stop doing it, because that's what God created me for, is to make this world a better place. And I've got a feeling, I still feel like big stuff's coming. He's got big stuff for me, you know. And I've been doing better at been doing much better at setting boundaries. You know, I used to have a hard time with boundaries. It was hard for me to say no to people for certain stuff. You know, I'd just always go out of the way to keep helping people when they'd ask and stuff, and shortchange myself and my time just to keep helping people. Well, God gave me a strong message so many months back about that that I can't take on everybody's problem as my problem and stuff, and I need to start managing that better, because He's got bigger things for me ahead. So I've been doing pretty good with that, you know, and pretty good at setting boundaries and stuff. It's hard because, you know, you care about people, you know, but like I say, I'll always do what God says, you know, even though sometimes it's really hard when you got to do the right thing, you know, and there'd be easier ways to not walk with God or do what Jesus would do or whatever, and it'd be easier and maybe more fun or whatever, you know. I don't want that to come out wrong, you know, because I don't mean it like that, you know, like Jesus ain't fun or something, you know. But sometimes when you're doing the right thing, ain't exactly the fun choice, you know. but you do it anyway, you know. It's not always easy. Sometimes it's downright hard, especially when it comes to family, friends, or people you care about, to have to set boundaries to where you can only allow so much, you know, shock absorption or cushion or whatever in a situation for a boundary wall. And I've got acquaintances that I've got to control boundaries pretty good with. But for a lot of years, family and friends that were close to me, I didn't have that, because I cared more about them. So I didn't know how to keep that boundary there more. And I've done really good with it now, though. It ain't been easy, but I've done real well. That's because I could feel God getting stronger with me. Like, hey, you got to start doing this stuff because things are going to change. So I've been listening to the best of my ability. A little stubborn in the beginning, before I came here. I was arguing with him about it a bit. But in the year I've been up here, it's almost a year. About 2 weeks from now will be 1 year that I've been out of work. Because I've done at the end of May, beginning of June. So I feel like that. I hope that's the turning point. I mean, if something miraculous or wonderfully blessed me ahead of time, that's okay too. But I hope, Lord, I hope and pray that maybe the year is the deadline. I don't want it to go no longer. I don't want to disobey God either, but, you know, I feel like, dang, now you're, you know, give me a dang break. I love God. And they say He won't give you more than you can handle, but there's times I look up in the sky and I'm like, well, could you lighten it up a little bit, you know? So that's the human side of me. And I'm sure there's people out there that can definitely relate with that when life's kicking the snot out of you. You know, if they say, you know, He won't give you more than you can handle, and it's understandable, you know, you can get pushed to an extreme, but sometimes, man, when it's dragging out and lasting longer, and just one thing after thing starts piling on you, sometimes you can't help but say, hey, look, I'm handling it, but could you lighten it up? Could you lighten the load for me, make it a little easier, you know? And for the grilling I've been through in my life, especially in the last 4 years, it's been brutal, very, very brutal with family and stuff. So, they say the tougher tests are because of, you know, the hardest battles come to the strongest soldiers, you know, and the strongest soldiers, that's because there's a mission ahead of them. Well, with all I've been through, especially in the last 4 years, it's been super, super ugly. Very, very emotionally, and it's so emotionally and mentally draining that it's physically draining, you know, and I can't even believe what I've been through. And I've got so many family members and friends that they can't believe it either. They don't even know how I maintained my composure through it all, you know. It ain't been easy. I mean, I've had my breakdown moments where I've cried and stuff, but the old me, you know, because I'm a scrapper, and I haven't always been, you know, the angel I am today. No, I'm just kidding. But I am. I'm a damn good man. I can joke about that a little bit because I am a damn good man. But, you know, in my younger years, I was more of a scrapper, you know. If somebody did me wrong, I was ready to get back at them, you know. You know, if somebody thought they're going to bully me or push me around, well, then I might have to knock them out or something, you know. Put a hurting on them, you know. Even growing up as a kid, there was part of me, even though I was always close to God, there's part of me that kind of liked the mafia movies and stuff, you know, like, you know, you don't let people bully you or push you around. You show them that you don't tolerate that kind of crap, you know. Doesn't mean you're just mean to people, but if somebody does you wrong, you send a message. You know, that's how I was when I was younger, in my 20s and stuff, you know. I was pretty hardcore that way for a while, you know. Of course, I was learning how to fight and studying weapons and everything, and self-defense and survival and all that kind of stuff, you know. But then somewhere in there, God only let me stray so far, because like I said, I've been walked with God all my life, you know. My mom raised me that way. you know, in Bible school since preschool and all that kind of stuff. But he only let me go so far with that battle stuff. Maybe he's letting me train for being a warrior of the Lord or something. I don't know. Because I can do some stuff, you know. Of course, I'm getting older. I probably can't do it as good as I used to. I still got all the skills, though. But, but yeah, at one point, God let me only stray so far, and then he started jumping in my head and telling me, no, you're done now. You don't do that mean stuff anymore. Let me take care of it. And when he first said that to me in some situations where I really wanted to go put a hurting on somebody, you know, that had it coming. It wasn't an unjustified hurt. You know, it was people that are doing some wrong stuff, you know. And I was going to dish out some justice. God said, oh, no, you're not. And because I have a healthy fear of the Lord, I could hear the Lord telling me that. No, you're not. You're going to leave this to me and watch what happens. And he was right. You know, I sat back. I didn't do nothing even though I wanted to. And I watched him work. I watched one bad guy wreck up his new truck. And I know it came from God. He didn't get hurt. I think he might have broke his arm or something. But, you know, and I just was like, okay, God, I get it. You know, and I watched it happen with multiple people. And even this time around, all the stuff I've been going through, you know, I don't wish ill will on nobody. I don't, not even my rotten brother. My brother's just terrible rotten. And I don't wish ill will on him. I don't want nothing to do with him. I don't want to be around him. But I don't wish ill will on him. But unless he finds his way to God or does some serious repenting or something, I got a feeling bad things are coming his way. I don't know. But there's other people that did some pretty rotten stuff too throughout all this, that I walked away from a lot of these people. And I told them what God said to me. And God had told me at one point that all the people that have done me wrong or do me wrong, that they will repent or they will experience him. So I repeated that to family members and friends, that God showed me stuff they were doing behind my back and stuff. And I told them, the way this came to me, it was like almost like Old Testament God, like spare the rod, spoil the child kind of stuff. You know, so the people that I knew were doing really not nice stuff, dark, mean, evil stuff behind my back and stuff that involves me kind of or whatever, between manipulating, lying, and trying to create falsehoods and whatever. I didn't have to do nothing about it. I don't have to. God's taking care of it. God told me he would. And people, I'm just telling you right now, people have already said that to. I've seen not good stuff happening to them. I'm not like, oh yeah, they got what they had coming. I don't feel that at all. I actually feel bad for them. And I gave them fair warning, you know, but I don't think they believe me. But everything I told them was true. And I'm watching stuff happen to people, and I think probably, unfortunately, maybe more stuff's gonna happen to them. I don't know, but I wish they'd become better people, that's for sure. But, you know, God has boundaries too. You know, there's a lot of people that ain't finding the Lord, that judgment day is going to come sooner or later, whether they pass away on this earth and have their own judgment day that way, or when the Lord comes back. You know, one way or another, it's coming for everybody. Some people sooner than later, and some people it'll be a bulk deal, you know. But all I can say is do your best to talk to God and seek him and be the best you can be, you know. That's all you can really do, you know. I mean, ain't no one ever going to be perfect, I don't think. Not as perfect as Jesus, anyway. But we can always do our best, and God appreciates that. Even though we've done bad stuff, that doesn't stay with you, you know. You know, as long as you truly feel about it. Oh man, them little creatures were cruising. It had to be